Hello, hi YouTube. What is going on? I'm starting the video off by talking to a stranger. Their name is Case Miro. They asked me, "Do you know how to get to the fair?" So the fair rotates. Let me see. Oh, it's in Goldshire. Okay. So today I am recording a very special video, and it's the video where I talk about the end of Turtle WoW. And basically I try to summarize my journey, how I feel about it, and just sort of, save everything before I say goodbye, essentially. Goldchar, yes, but I'm not talking about the Dark Moon Fair. Which fair? It's pretty funny. So I actually made this video I have an agenda. And I'm gonna go ahead and the turtle ending fair. Oh, I think that passed already. So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and pull up the agenda here. Give me a second. Okay. So you guys should be able to see my Notepad++, and this is gonna help me keep me organized because sometimes I'm kind of all over the place. So it started today at 8, should still be up. Oh, okay. I want to go too. But basically, I pretty much only played Turtle WoW for my druid here. He said, "Hey, want to get there?" Let me talk to this guy quick. A buddy of mine knows in the guild. Oh, I can't right now, but thank you. He doesn't know I'm making a YouTube video. So, I'm just gonna go ahead and bring back up the agenda before I get too all over the place. Almost 3 minutes now. And I've just been having fun with this guy. But anyways, so, Turtle WoW. For those of you who know about video games and MMORPGs, an MMORPG is a massive multiplayer online role-playing game, and there have been many types of MMORPGs throughout the genre. Oh, this is great. This guy's saying goodbye to me. I gotta show you guys this. Oh, he just left. You just need to find the Turtle Fair Baker Barker. Apparently it shows up in every capital city. Thanks anyways, dear. Okay. So, Turtle WoW was a private server, or still is, but they're actually shutting down in like 2 weeks because Blizzard sued them or has threatened to sue them if they don't cease and desist, from my understanding. And it's a huge bummer because me and the community and so many other people in the world have come to love this server. Like, I started playing Turtle WoW like a little less than a year ago. I think my download file, one of the main first ones, was the end of August of 2025, and now it's early May 2026. So yeah, a little less than a year. And I really enjoyed leveling from level 1 and going through all the zones and doing the dungeons. And Storm Route Dungeon especially was crazy. I actually have a YouTube video, so be sure to check out my Royal Seed Pod channel on YouTube, and then Storm Route Castle, because I actually sort of show my perspective of healing that dungeon even though I wasn't spec'd into it. It was like mid 20s or 30s was my level. Well, anyways, going through the zones, leveling, questing, meeting different people. I joined a few different guilds. I ended up settling in this one guild called Blood and Thunder because their raid times just worked out for me. I was in a lot of discords and a lot of guilds, just like pugging and just trying to see what works out for me and stuff. But there's basically that. So this is my main character on it's Royal Seed Pod, which is homage to, if you know old school RuneScape, you just know. So I also love old school RuneScape, but that's not what this video is about. That's just what my druid's about, like the seed and the tree. The tree heals. I thought it was pretty cool. Made sense to me. But yeah, the druid is an amazing class. So I think I'll back up a little bit and just sort of talk about myself. I'm getting excited now. Turtle WoW has a PvP realm and a PvE realm. And so I've done PvP throughout the years. Like I'm not I hate PvP. I'll never do PvP. I have throughout the years. It's just that for my leveling experience, I didn't want to get ganked all the time and like camped. So then I did PvE, Nordinar, which is a popular server. Later on, Turtle WoW came out with another PvE server called Ambershire, which in my opinion wasn't the smartest move because they sort of just cut their population in half for no reason. And part of the reason why the server felt so good was because it was just like one clump of people on one massive server, like no layering. So, anyways, okay, that's wrong. Who am I and why should you listen to me? All right, so I am 26 years old, right? And I first stumbled across WoW when I was like a teenager. I remember very distinctly. I started during Cataclysm, and let me go ahead and pull up some fun memories just so you can talk about it. Let me minimize this. See, I've got a spreadsheet. I didn't play in the glory days of Vanilla, Burning Crusade, or Wrath, but I did start in Cataclysm on the fourth picture here, and I actually liked it. Since it was my first time playing WoW, like I was a teenager enjoying it. Played some MOP. It was alright. Didn't like it as much as Kata. Warlords was okay. I think I played some Legion too. And then school started to get more serious and I just sort of lost interest. I think after like Battle for Azeroth and then Shadowlands, didn't play that. I came back and I played Dragonflight quite a bit. I love Dragonflight, man. Dragonflight was such a good expansion. Huge fan of that. Played a ton of Shadow Priest, a ton of Resto Druid, both PvP and PvE. I did play WoW Classic once they relaunched it again. I played a little bit of Vanilla Classic, and then I mainly played a ton of BC, like a lot of BC Classic, like a lot of PvP, a lot of raiding. I remember having shivers the first time I did Black Temple, and I remember loving Wrath of the Lich King Classic too. Just like AFKing with the music in Dalaran, doing Winter Spring, doing my weekly conquests for arena fighting, and then just like raiding and meeting people. And WoW has been a journey, but it's just a game, like a lot of things, and it's not a perfect game. Some of my notable achievements is me in Dragonflight Season 2, where I got Rival 2 in Solo Shuffle Arena, which is like in the top 10%. And I'm pretty proud of that because, it took me a lot of time to get the UI I wanted and make the macros and get my key bindings and stuff set up in a way that made sense to me. So there's that. And then here's also me on my Resto Druid. This is me on my Shadow Priest. And this is me on my Resto Druid where I got Rival 1. It's not Rival 2 as high as my Priest, but this day was awesome. I have the full 8-hour video on my YouTube channel. You can go check it out. I basically played the whole day. and I fight in the arena, and like on the last game, I'm able to get 1800, and then it was just a really big moment because at that time of my life I didn't have a lot of time to play, so like each game meant a lot in terms of like me having to push for rating and then just being focused and having to be lucky too. It was just like a really fun time. So basically, I've played a lot of World of Warcraft over the last 10 years, and this past year, um, let me go back to the game. Turtle WoW was amazing. Hands down, the best World of Warcraft experience I've ever had. It was a pain if you're like a fan, you know how annoying it is to like have to download add-ons, configure files, move around your UI, and if you kind of have OCD or like autism or ADHD or like if you're on the spectrum like me, things kind of need to be in a way that makes sense to you. So what I mean by that is an example here, like a line. You see everything on my screen is based on an X and Y coordinate. Like for me, I like things to be centered, or if it's not centered, there's like a reason why, or there's it's like symmetrical. You can see how things certain have like a line to indicate certain like areas for information. So that's kind of what I mean by that. I've been talking for a bit now. I've been recording for 11 minutes. Let me make sure I stay to the agenda. I don't want to make this video too long. Alright, so I talked about first three add-ons. Okay, so in my time of playing Turtle WoW, there have been a lot of add-ons that I've used and I really have liked. And not all of them are necessary, obviously, but I found that if you play Druid and you like the game to be easier or just work in certain ways, these are the other add-ons I've used, and this is what I've liked, and this is what I've come to be accustomed with. I don't think this is the easiest place for me to explain it. I actually think I'm gonna log out quick, and the screen before this is actually really good. So it's actually quite a bit add-ons. So you're gonna have to buckle up and just listen to me talk for a little bit. You're like Royal Seed Pod or Surreplicity. Why are you like talking about all your add-ons? Turtle WoW is gonna go under in 2 weeks. No one's gonna be able to play it. Well, it's because I've become really attached to the game, so I'm doing this so I have like a historical video and a record. And also so I just know in case in the future I do anything like this again, I'm gonna have like a full walkthrough of what I need and what might help me. So without further ado, I'm just gonna go through each one of my add-ons that I have and why I use it. This is TWOW version 1.18. So it's just a simple out of mana announcer add-on for Turtle WoW. Made with love by WHT Mist LOL. So this is great, you know, like I get low on mana, it's gonna announce low on mana. Here is auto marker super well. This automatically marks raid mobs. Okay, yeah, this is really nice. There's like a little display in the middle of my screen that sort of shows like the different mobs that are tagged with different icons. Pretty cool. Lazy Pig, this is really nice for auto accepting like all the random stuff that drops in ZG in just raids like that where there's just trash loot. It'll auto roll for you, like any needs, greeds, passes, it'll take care of that for you. And if there's a certain thing you like can want to configure that you don't like the default setting, you can always do like /LP and change it. Learn to spell. Okay, so this is like trying to get your updated spell on your hotbar or your like action bar or whatever once you learn it. TNE 5 seconds. So this was really nice so I could understand once my like mana starts to really regen a lot faster. Most people that have been casting in WoW for a while will know that after 5 seconds of not being in any type of combat, you actually like regen mana a lot faster. But under that time, you actually just like don't regen as much. So having this information is pretty helpful. And then auto BG. I downloaded a bunch of BG and like weird PvP add-ons thinking that I would get into it, maybe arena someday, but I mean that was like really far down the line thinking. Okay, what, Turtle WoW's been on for 8 years. I started playing a little less than a year. I didn't think it was going to go under this quick. Um, anyways, didn't do much with PGs. Lazy spell. It's like seems like a child add-on. Click. Oh, for click, yeah. So this is if like I have frames. If I want to do stuff with like frames, like party frames, raid frames, I can click it. Lists. Okay, add-on organizer. Look at my add-ons. Align. This is a grid to help like align UI elements. Alt invite. This is a little sweet add-on where you could just hold Alt and hover left click, invite people in chat. And that was nice. Altaholic. It was like a table breakdown of your different alts and the information for lockouts and stuff. Pretty nice. Anti-spam, annoying messages. I hate all that weird messages in the middle of my screen. Just clutter. Atlas loot, Atlas quest. You know, for Turtle WoW, these are just staples. Great information stuff. Auld links and I don't. This one was weird because I feel like it was important. I just don't know what it does. Can't be bothered to find out right now. Auto bar. Oh, this was like a consumable bar. It was right here, if you remember it, in my game. It was like a whole bar just about consumes, and it did its best to try to categorize it in certain pull downs, so you could get what you need when you needed it. The auto LFM. It's just like another way to find group. I never really used it, but I just had it as a tool if I needed to use it. Auction house replacement UI improvement. Mission prices, AV bars, Rothi Valley, Rothi Basin, graphical UI overhaul, bag shui. This is sick. This was all in one bag UI interface. Banana bar raid symbols. This was kind of nice. It had the raid symbols over here in one column, and you could click on that icon to like, you know, target them. Bartender is a classic in WoW history. This is a way for you to change the way your action bar looks and where they are on your screen, and just like, you know, change the way it looks and feels and all that jazz. I have some druid specific ones, it looks like. I have a bear cast bar. Like a like a random add-on to try to talk to the opposite faction. Better character stats. This is really nice, so I could see the stats for my gear and stuff in more detail. BG add-ons, Big Brother Spy add-on, probably some sort of like information background database. Let's see. Bonus scanner. So it just helps scan my inventory and my panes and gives me information. Boss mechanic helper. This seemed good at the moment. Never really worked or was never updated. Seemed cool to just like share and chat what the boss does and stuff. Boss tactics, same kind of thing. Better battlefield score frame. Ooh, I think I've used this once or twice when I did do Battlegrounds for the daily. Just looked nice. It was great. Anytime you can color code the player names by class is great as well. Buff blocks was great. It sort of categorized my buffs and, you know, gave it like a nice visual way to organize it. So I wasn't just looking at a bunch of icons. Bug grabber, you know, informing me about any type of bugs that arise during one of my gameplay, and then it'll just like be in the sack and I'll have documentation for the bug if I really want to fix it. not all bugs needed to be fixed to just like play the game. But I had that cast history tracker. So this was cool because it would show my globals if I have like video recording, so I could like go back and improve what I did before. Caster stats, improve caster information. CC, DRs, more like frames to track that. Census plus turtle. Oh, this is kind of neat. I think it's just like server realm census information. Chat timestamps. I love timestamps. Chronometer. This was kind of cool. It was like a descending like timer add-on for my actives in like a more centralized position on my screen. Classic mouse over. Classic quest log. Classic snowfall clean chat. Like improving functionality of just like button down stuff, making things look nice with chat. We got cooldown timers. That's pretty nice. Understand cooldowns. Cursive, corpse info, cursive. Cursive, I think this is the one that lets me like clean people. So that's nice. It's like my /rinse command. Debuff alert. I guess just like nice alerts for certain gameplay features. The square map. I like the square map instead of the circle map. If I escape and then it like would remove my party invite, that was annoying. Got rid of that. Graphical improvements, in my opinion. Distance, so I can show like the exact yards when I'm targeting certain units. Pretty cool and actually kind of nice for a caster class that uses 36 yards a lot. Different druid stuff. Numerical value to tell me my slots. A bar to tell me my little bars. Like, I mean like the little bar for add-ons and stuff. Gather mate. Guild map, guild search, shield comm. Just like heal communication, hot airframes. Oh gosh, okay. I've been talking for a while. I didn't realize I had this many add-ons, but holy cow. Instance timers, instance lockout, booster, something for my game to help it run. Level range, just like see the level, localization, language, I don't know. Loot blare, looting, lose control, CC, macros, text stop. So I've made a lot of macros, but this makes it so it doesn't show text on my macro interface. Pretty nice. Magnify, meta map. Makes the map better in my opinion. Meta map dependencies. Mini map button frame, little button to like house all my buttons, I think. Focus frame. This is pretty cool. It's a way to get focus in vanilla. There are some times where I needed focus functionality I'll talk about a little bit. Mop gear tooltips, so just like a way to see gear items better. Muting cities, because Stormwind music and sound gets old really fast. Same with org music. NAM power, yeah, I think a lot of things use NAM power. NOS cursor, this is a really nice like animated cursor, just not lose track of where that is. Not grid, this was like a graphical UI overhaul to raid frames. Nug combo bar, this is really nice for tracking combo points in cat form, along with Nug energy cat form. Open clam, automatically opens clams. Outfitter, this was a way to like swap like super quickly between outfits for tasks. Like, you know, if I'm balanced PvP, balanced PvE, resto PvE, presto PvE, or just like different sets. Party plus, party info, proc doc, showing I have procs, quest progress, share, you know, and auto announce tools for quests, quest stuff, quick heal add-ons. One of these was crazy, like quick heal, I think. It just gave me the ability to just automatically do hots and hard heals, hard casting heals with just like one button, and auto targeting functionality. The heal add-ons were out of control. Um, RA buffs, reload UI, rinse. Oh, rinse was the cleaning I roll for. If I am like a raid leader, there's a way to roll off items. Libraries or stuff automatically selling, graphical UI overlays, special showing all three of my talents instead of one pane, raid target icons, like a few tank tools, better inspect, a super API, super WoW combat logger, just little tools to whisper people, getting my sound back, vendor stuff, trinket menus, trade chats. It's a lot. You guys can read. Weapon buttons, zone levels, Brainwasher Pro, just changing how I change my spec interface. Tactica, making a raid. PF Quest. Shagu, all this Shagu stuff was just like changing some settings and config and UI interface. A few macros to help my macros, or add-ons to help macro functionality. Just a few in-game turtle stuff. Threat meter is nice. Big wigs was like the main way to do PvE and understand boss mechanics. Some Shago config stuff. So yeah, that's 180 add-ons. I was using 180 add-ons. Like, I definitely had days where I uninstalled a lot. I played around with a lot. I know I didn't always use all of them if I didn't think I needed them. So then I would uninstall them if I didn't need them. But this is the list that I ended up with, that I finalized, and I'm happy to say I use like pretty much all 180. My Royal Seed pod is this level 60 I have here. Big damn. Alt I thought I would play, never did. Level 8. It's gonna do like Ellie Shaman, Himiku Toga. She was gonna be a fun PvP sub rogue, Seed pod, warrior, tank level 1. Never got around to it. This was like my main alt and like troubleshooting if my game kinda worked, but didn't work for like my massive main. Like, I've attached a bunch of things to. So there's times where like my priest would load and then my druid wouldn't. But we're gonna hop back in my druid now, so I can continue with the video and continue with the agenda. We're already 30 minutes in, and I've been talking a decent bit. I'm just trying to cover enough ground for the stuff that I wanted to talk about. I know the add-ons one was kind of crazy because, like, even though I talk about each add-on, I could even go into each add-on settings and like each setting within the add-on. But I'm not going to do that because, for one, it's actually already on GitHub documentation if you're that interested. And I just told you all the add-ons I used. And you can like go through. I'll just slowly scroll here if you want this view as well. So now you can say you've seen all my add-ons and you know what I use, and you've seen how it's set up. So yeah, I use all of these and I love them. But obviously Turtle Bow is going down and all my 180 is going down as well. But until then, what do we got next? My UI at high level. Okay, talked about add-ons, talking about my UI now. So top left, this is where I'd actually have RuneScape going. I'd usually play RuneScape, old school RuneScape, of course, not RS3. In this top left corner, top left ish is my character pane. And then if I target anything, here's my targeting pane. Here's that consumables bar I was talking about. Above here on the top right is like the different categories of buffs. It'll tell me my total buff count, as well as it'll have like little groupings for types of buffs and debuffs respectively. and they just combine it and it grows from right to left all the way to the corner here. And then I've got my square map, and it tells me I'm in the Warriors Terrace, the Lion's Territory in Darnassus. And I've got my button to keep track of all my other buttons. So this is like my rectangular prism place. So I have all my add-on buttons to access their config. That's where I stash that. And then just going to the right here, this is where I keep my damage tracker. This is where I keep my healing tracker. I'm frequently interested in both damage and healing numbers, especially because I bounce around between being a balanced druid and a rested druid a lot. So it's just nice to have both, honestly. Just like PvP rank stuff. Never really PvP'd too much on Turtle WoW. It's more of a hassle, and I was mostly just concerned with raid logging and getting through my day-to-day that way. So that's my UI on a high level. I like putting my text in the center. I have a 27-inch monitor. I sit kind of close, like maybe 15 inches away, maybe even like 10 inches away. So like having my important information towards the center of my screen is really nice for me. So this is where I keep my chat. I have like a general chat, combat log. I have like a guild chat where I have guild party stuff, like a party BG chat as well, a guild chat. So the main ones I use. Now we're gonna get into the meat and potatoes, which is my keybinds, my macros, and then I'll ask if you have any questions for me before I wrap up the video, and hopefully I can get you guys going. My goal is to not to spend more time than I really need to do. So we'll start with keybinds. We'll just keep shotgunning through this. I think the recording is still going. It's been talking for 30 minutes, and I'm gonna keep trucking along. I'm not usually a talker. I don't talk this much, but that's how we get information across. It's good practice. Keybindings. Let's get it. All right. So I'm a little weird. I moved it all to the right, and if you're an advanced player, you know why I do this. Like unbinding back pedal, moving it to the right, having access to more keys with my ring finger. It all makes sense. And if you play MOBAs and you play other games like me, this is just what works for me. I use E to move forward. I use W to strafe left. I use R to strafe right. I use spacebar to jump. And because of that, my 1 is actually a 2. So think about that, right? So everything that's like a thing gets moved over to the right. So that's why everything gets moved over to the right. So my 1's a 2, and then my 2's a 3, and so forth. You get what I mean? And then it's just that's the way it is, because that's the way my hand's set up. And then I have it set up to be like 1 through 6 or 2 through 6 as the action, and then I have like TYA SDFG. So you see I'm at like that upper and then that middle layer on the keyboard, and then I've got the second bar here, which is like the same thing, my 2 through 6, but it's just shifted instead, right? So I have like my 2s, and then to the right of that I have like the QTYASDFG, but it's shifted, right? So I have that, and then above I've got my F1 through 4 for my left hand, and then I've got the QTYASDFG similarly with the others, but this one is under a control modifier. So I have the normal key down for my general keys around my left hand, and then I have the shift modifier for those keys, and then I have my control modifier for those keys. And then I also utilize my thumb quite heavily. So you can see on the right bars here now, I use my thumb for like B, or I'll use my thumb for N and M. And I do this so I can have free range of movement, right? Like going left or I'm going right. or I'm going forward, and I can hit B, I can hit N, I can hit M, so I can go in any direction and I can use the button, right? So these are things you want to be thinking about as you keybind, just for all your characters, any spec. This is like a good tip to remember. For the spells that you want to use in any direction, you have to keep in mind, well, can I do that like in a physical way? And then, so that's basically my keybinds. And I also use like V, I use H, and Z, X, C. So there's like that bottom layer too for stuff that I don't normally touch as much, or only touch when I'm out of combat. And I try to keep the stuff that I use more frequently, like towards my index finger, or towards my middle finger. So just stuff like that to think about. Key bindings, what else is that? Macros. Okay, so I'm already in my boomkin spec. You can see I have my boomkin gear or moonkin, and then my resto gear. So then I'm using outfitter add-on, which I can left click and it'll automatically change my gear for me. So you see I'm in like moonkin gear. I've got stats here too. So just a little bit about my gear from like a couple months of raiding. I never did Kara 40, which was the most difficult raid in Turtle WoW. Mainly because you had to bring like a ton of consumables, and I just wasn't about like spending money to just do the content, And I already spent enough money just to like do Nax. Like I probably did Nax over 10 times as both Boomkin and Rasto. So a lot of my gear is either from Nax tier 3, or it's from tier 2.5, which is AQ40, or it's from tier 2 Blackwing Lair, or it's from Molten Core, or it's even from Emerald Sanctum, hard mode 2. So I've done pretty much all the raids in Turtle WoW on a weekly basis, on a regular basis with my guild, other guilds as a pug. Yeah, except for K40, but K40, it was never really on my radar anyways. I was kind of a mostly casual player for the most part, besides my intensity for wanting to understand just the ergonomics and how to keybind and set up properly. So that's what I'm mostly passionate about, and this is actually my favorite topic for talking about all the hours, the days I've spent. So I did slash played, and it's telling me I've played 27 days, 21 hours, 28 minutes, and 21 seconds as of this moment. And I'm willing to bet and tell you that 80% of that time was spent in this screen right here. This screen, in making macros, in trying to think about ways that I could make my character stronger, either in a way that made it so they can use abilities quicker, or in a way that made sense, or in a way that my fingers could easily access and gave me freedom of movement while retaining functionality. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and share with you my thought process for why I built this the way I've built it, and maybe even talk about the names a little bit. But I don't know, the naming is more of a small detail. I can make another video about that later if you guys are really into the naming. I've already grabbed all the text and I've put it in a doc, so I'll save that away for later if I need like inspiration for later or for other things. But yeah, I'm really excited to just go through and talk about what I have for balance, and then I'm gonna do resto, and then I'm gonna have a time for any questions, just like wrap up the video, and then we're gonna call it here, and hopefully get out of here in under an hour. So let's get it. Let's get it. Very far bottom left, I'm gonna talk about my bars. I've got 3 bars. I've got 3 bars here. This one, this one, this one, and then I've got my form bar, and I've got 2 right bars. I'm gonna go through my bottom bars first. So I'm gonna do these 3 bottom bars, and then I'm gonna do these 2 right bars. Starting with my 2, which is like any normal person's 1. For me, my 2 is my 1. So my 2 Shadow Meld is a very specific type of macro for Shadow Meld. And this is my Night Elf Rachel that, if you're familiar with WoW, allows you to just, like dip into the shadows, drop combat maybe for a bit. In later versions of WoW, you can even like not get hit by a projectile because you're like phasing out of the air. And so just cool stuff, right? Anyways, here's this macro. It's going to stop my attack. It's going to cancel my form. And it's going to get me in meld. So when I'm spamming this, I want to make sure it's doing what it's doing. Alright, my 3, my Enrage. This is, I can spam this, I can move freely, and this will give me rage and put me in bear form too. So it is right here. I'm going to go through line by line. Basically, it's putting me in dire bear form. I can spam it. It'll cast Enrage to give me rage. It'll maul too. So it's also my maul key apparently, which is pretty sick to have so many abilities in one. And the next one, my 3. This is my mouse over Healing Touch. And if you can utilize help harm macros, that's really nice. What I mean by that is if you're targeting an enemy unit, it's going to be on the harm functionality. If you're targeting a friendly unit, it's going to be on the help functionality. So it's just a way to save space. It's going to put like 2 buttons on one slot. So I try to do this when I can and when it makes sense. So what I've done here is I've done mouse over Healing Touch for friendlies, and then if it's an enemy, it's going to be Fairy Fire, and the macro accounts for the Fairy Fire version in Feral, or the Feral Fire version in the other version. I think there's like a human version and there's like a feral version for cat and bear. Anyways, it's going to use either one depending on your form, and that's what that does. And then my 6 is my field repair bot. So this nothing special here. It's just a way for me to quickly, get out my repair bot, repair my gear when I need to. I've also got my auctioneer on shift 6, so bring out the auctioneer. Do that. My T, in balance, my T is really close to my movement spells. So it was like my main damage spammer, my pumper. So in this instance, when I'm in human form and boomkin, moonkin form, it's actually going to be help harm with swift mend, as if I'm healing and I've got swift mend, or if it's an enemy, I'm targeting an enemy, it's going to be cast in wrath. And then it's going to also pop my trinket if my damage trinket 20 seconds of increased spell power or whatever. It's going to do that. And then the start attack, the /start attack command is super underrated in WoW because it will save you a step. A lot of noobs, they'll target the thing they want to attack, and then they'll attack the thing. If you put the command of /start attack on your ability, what it's going to do is it's going to find the nearest attackable unit, it's going to target it, and then it's going to execute on what you're trying to do next in one go. So yeah, start attack, pretty amazing. Moving on to travel form for Y, a spammable travel form. I separated out my forms with exclamation mark in a way that TWOW liked. So it will stop what I'm doing and then it'll let me spam it. So if it won't like toggle, right? So one of the things I really disliked was when if I hit bear twice and then now I'm not in the bear to any form, because I just put me in bear, then I hit it a second time and then it put me human. So it's like I want to be able to hit it as many times as I want, and have it just put me in that form. So I've separated out my forms. And then moving out to my thorns, my A is my mouse over thorns. So let me go find that for you. Yeah, so it's thorns, or if it's enemy, it's gonna soothe the animal. So if I got an animal, I gotta soothe the animal. But otherwise, I have mouse over thorns, or I try to do mouse over when I can, and then moving over to, well, I guess since we're already here, my shift A, I'm talking about the above bar now, is like self thorns, right? So I've got like A for thorns, mouse over thorns, and then I've got shift A for self thorns. Stuff like that makes sense. And then I've got my bottom row or the lower row for like, this is entangling roots, MER/trade. So if I'm on a friendly target, it's actually going to trade them. So it's a way to get my trade up quickly. And then if it's an enemy target, it's actually going to try to root them. And so that's really nice. What if you can combine functionality there? I think to save time, I might try not like actually click through each one of these. I don't know. I might just because it's kind of interesting, but I could just talk through each one of them. And if you want to see the text now, you can see the text of how I did it and why I did it this way. I also just stuck them in a doc, so I could make a whole new video, but basically, I'm just gonna do it like this for now. Moly terminal, 5 minutes, mailbox. Always good to have a mailbox on you. If you were a sucker like me and you loved Turtle WoW as much as you did like me, you paid real money to get some in-game stuff to help your gameplay. So you got your mailbox, you got your brainwasher to change spec, you got your bank, you've got your auctioneer, you've got your repair bot, and you've got a bunch of other stuff you don't need like me, like all the glyphs for cosmetics. You've got all the toys for more cosmetics, and then you've got more visuals for your animals to change them up. Anyways, we're not going to go down that little rabbit hole. Talking about my bottom right bar, this is my rejuvenation hot if it's friendly, or it's going to be my moonfire dot if it's an enemy. Hot, heal over time, dot, damage over time. Or it's going to be rejuve, and then I've got that start attack again, right? So if I'm spamming F and there's enemies that are attackable, it's just going to boom. It's going to find it, it's going to hit it. Same thing with my insect swarm. We've got insect swarm, or if it's going to be regrowth. So that's what I've got, and that's my bottom left right there. So if I'm going to go ahead and see, I'm just spamming F. Okay, since the deer's not like an enemy, just like a neutral unit, quote unquote, it's not actually going to attack it. But you see now if I like left click it and grab it, and then I hit F, boom, there's my moonfire. And you can see how it automatically just popped it with the 780. But if I'm on a friendly, now my moonfire's it's a rejuvenation icon, and it's a regrowth icon. So there's that. Moving over up here, shift 2, middle action bar, second row. This is leave. Just shift 2, real simple. Leave group. So anytime I hit shift 2, this leaves my group. Frenzied regeneration. I loved making this macro. This was awesome. This was really cool. Really cool, basically. Let me find it out here so I can read it off to you. I try to put all my bear stuff over here. All my cat stuff over here. Frenzied regeneration. Give me a minute here while I am actually challenged not being able to find this. Oh, it's because it's just my ability. It's not a macro. I'm losing it. Okay. So I remember when I said that my 3 turns me into a bear. I'm gonna illustrate. I'm walking. I'm spamming 3. I'm a bear. I'm regenerating rage. And now I hit shift 3 and boom, now I'm regenerating health. So all my stuff makes sense to me, and it like objectively makes sense. I'm hitting 3, spamming 3 to become a bear. I'm getting rage. I hit shift 3, and then I'm getting health back. 5-minute cooldown, friendly regeneration, gone. So now you see why it's set up like that. My shift 4, challenging roar. So when I'm in stance 1, which is bear by the way, it's gonna challenging roar. And if I'm in like human form, it's just gonna self-healing touch. So that's really nice. You know, depending on what I'm targeting, I have certain functionality that I can just do. Shift 5 is my bank, my forewarned mule. So if I do shift F5, I got my mule here. I can right click it and boom, easy enough. I got my bank right here, all my potions, my gear, quest items, and then this is just my inventory in the center. So shift 5 for my bank. Q, I try to reserve Q for my swag shapeshifting button. So for me, my Q is spammable shapeshift for a moonkin, my moonkin form, which is the form to do increased damage and spell casting. By the way, if you didn't know, this is my talent pane, and for druids, at least in Classic Plus, Turtle WoW Vanilla version, there's the Balance, Feral, and Restoration tree. And if you have dual spec or like different specs like I do, you can freely swap to different, setups. But for me, in our purposes today, I have like a balance setup that I use for PvE, and I have a resto setup that I use for PvE. Right now, what you're seeing is the balance setup, and it's pretty standard. You just kind of got your points down balance, and you have a couple in restoration. But yeah, there's that, and then I have Shift D if I want to bring up my Goblin Brainwashing device to swap to my resto spec. And swapping is important because I'm not gonna have tree when I'm in Moonkin spec. I'm not gonna have Moonkin I'm not gonna have Moonkin shift when I'm in resto spec. Yeah, and then I've got rejuvenation and regrowth. So it's gonna be the self functionalities. So if I've got a friendly targeted, I can shift F, and the system's gonna be smart enough to put rejuve on me and not who I'm targeting, even though they're friendly. Same thing with regrowth. F1, I'm on the third action bar of the middle bar. F1 is teleport to Moonglade. So if I need to teleport to Moonglade, boom, right there. F2 teleports to Hyjal. If I need to teleport to Hyjal, right there. F3, this is teleportation to Caverns of Time. Boom, right there. If you want to do Black Morass to get your daily dungeon done or something. F4 is your Hearthstone. I've got my Hearthstone at Light's Hope Chapel. So if memory serves me right, we've got Kilmdor and like Eastern Kilmdor. On Eastern Kilmdor, there's Light's Hope Chapel, which is where this Hearthstone's at. And then on the top left of Azeroth, we have Hyjal. So let me just bring up to show you, Kilmdor, we've got Hyjal over here. And so this is the top left. And then down here, we've got Daenerys and Caverns of Time. So we've got that teleport covered. And then I think my guild tabard, it actually takes me to Strangled Thornvale, Booty's Bay. So yeah, if you've done it right, quote unquote, you have Eastern Pluglands for Lights Out, Hyjal top left. You've got Daenerys for bottom left, and then Booty Bay for bottom right. So you actually can have all four corners of Azeroth covered with this setup, which is really nice. So I have Control Y. So for this top bar, I can easily go to Moonglade, Hyjal, Daenerys, Caverns of Time, Booty Bay, or Lights of Chapel with my Hearthstone, or Guild's Tabard, teleport to Booty Bay. So yeah, boom. You can pretty quickly get through most of Azeroth with this top set. Really nice. Control A. if you're any type of geek with spreadsheets or just collecting data and moving data on computers, you know that Control A is the select all function. So for me, if I'm in like a bunch of people and they're all taking damage, like 30 raid members, I hit Control A, select all. And whoa, look at that. We're tranquility. Everyone is healing. Everyone is all good. They are healing up with tranquility. So Control A was the keybind I am really proud of because it's just awkward enough to be out of the way where you don't accidentally just press it through movement or just doing things, but it's also not uncomfortable enough to push it quickly once you really need to push it and heal people. And it just made sense in my brain that Control A is a selector of like many things, all things, and in this case, it's the healer of all things. So, really like Control A functionality for tranquility. Really proud of that. The ability to heal all raid members, just great. Control S. This was my keybind to teleport into a succubus. There's actually a lot of different toys you can get from the from the donation shop when it was up. So look at this. Like you could buy this with like real money, like all these illusions. I can be a banshee, I can be a forest dryad, I can be a furbolg, I can be a ghost, a harpy, a murloc. There's like a ton too that you could buy. I just got like all the chicks and the girls, and the edgy dudes that were like all spooky. Um, yeah, and the zombie, I guess. Can't not have the zombie. I got like the toy train from like the winter Christmas event stuff, which is pretty sick. Um, but yeah, getting back to that, Control D. Anytime I'm herbalism, and gosh, what else? Skinning. So if I'm in my travel form, right, which is like I think it's like Swift travel form. What you can actually be in Swift travel form, and you can be in your like toy illusion form. So it's super funny, right? Like I'm a zombie and I'm going at 100% mount movement speed, and this works for like all your illusions. So I love this. This is just great. Um, being a druid and having swift travel form, you can actually have other players ride you if they're in your party. You just got to do like a quest chain and stuff. Um, but yeah, I've got that, so other players could ride me if they're in my party, and then also I can do skinning and herbalism while I'm on my swift travel form, and that's why I did herbalism and skinning. It's kind of like really good profession combo for druids, for in terms of just like casual money making. If you don't have other goals for like engineering or other stuff, and then I have my oranges stack. It's just kind of annoying having to find oranges each time you need to do content, but for the most part, there's mages in whatever raid or whatever event you're doing. You just stack up in your oranges. Control F. I think for me it was really nice because my movement buttons are like up here, and then I just hit like Control and index button, finger F, and I'm just like already. It's like it's probably one of the quickest interactions I have, honestly. Just like to stop what I'm doing, and then heal up with an orange. Actually, extremely quick. And then Control G. This one I'm pretty proud of because it'll actually do a mouse over innervate if it's a friendly. So look at this. There's a friendly player, die for level 13. It just changed to mouse over innervate, and if I do hit Control G, it's gonna innervate him. It's gonna whisper him. See, I'm gonna hit Control G, and look, it says to die for. It's whispering him, innervating you. Go go go. So and now he's targeting me. He's like, what the fudge does this guy just do? But so yeah, if it's a friendly, it's gonna innervate them. It's gonna tell them I innervated them, and then they're gonna get like that dink too in their chat, so they'll know. And then, but if it's an enemy, yeah. If it's an enemy, we go back to that training dummy over here. It's hyphen H. which is hibernate, and you can only hibernate like beasts and stuff, or like sleep, but it's still giving me the symbol, right? So it's showing me it works, the help harm functionality in this instance as well for this type of thing. So like you gotta love help harm functionality. You're having multiple abilities, multiple scenarios in one slot. It's gonna dynamically adjust based on what you're selecting and what you're targeting. So that is my bottom row for balance. And then this little mini row is just like all the different forms that I can take on. I have my bear for 3. I have aqua for shift Y. So if I need to be in aquatic form, shift Y. Regular Y is just regular travel form. So I'm in my regular travel form, which is stag, 60% increased movement speed. If I was in water, I could shift Y for rapid movement speed. And then what do we got? We got cat. So cat is N. And then if I do shift N, this is prowl. So then now I'm invisible. I reduce movement speed, but now I'm in invisible. And then I can go out of here. And then control N is dash. So I've got cat on N, I got prowl on shift N, and then prowl like dash, like speed book it on control N. So like N is my big cat button, and notice how I can go in all directions, right? And then I can go in a cat in any direction. So that was like a really important point for me there, to be able to do that, especially for different situations where mobility is so important, and you just want to be able to like have that flexibility to go a direction and to do a thing, and not have to like stop, move, and then do the thing, right? So just like little stuff like that can help take your game to the next level if you're really wanting to like push. Just little tips I've learned over the last 10 years of studying and loving this game to the detriment of my life. But going on to next stuff, on this right bar, control C, this is major healing pot. So if you've got like any healing potions, control C, copy, control V. I think this was like also, control V is also my major health stone. So if you fight with any warlocks and they make health stones, you can pop that with control V. It's not showing that I have one right now. It's because I don't have one, because it goes away upon logout. But once you get it, it'll show up and you can use it. Nordinar herbal tea, control mouse wheel up. Control mouse wheel up. This is a way to just like regen some health and mana. Control mouse button, like actually hitting the button down and depressing the middle mouse button, would also just give me mana with my potion. So I wanted to make sure that the one that I would typically hit less was the more difficult one to hit, which in this case was like depressing the button. So I just made sense to me to do it that way. It consumes up here health and mana, yada yada. And I think, what is this, like control? Oh yeah, control mouse wheel shift scroll down is gonna do self innervate. I showed you like friendly mouse over target innervate. This one is specifically set up for self innervate. So it's set up like, what is it here? It's kind of crazy. This is the mouse over one. The self one is just like, oh yeah, this is just the at player innervate and bracketed. And then rinse is really nice. Rinse is just a macro and add-on that you can get that will automatically do like decurses and despells and stuff like that for you. So I can move in any direction. I'm just like spamming B right here. I'm just cleansing. I'm cleaning my entire raid. I'm cleaning the party. I'm cleaning everything. Abolish poison, magic. It's great. Having B for clean, game changer. And then also, if I am a boomkin, boomkin form, shift B, right? Super amazing for hurricane. Like shift B so fast. Like the way my hand is, I have like a small to medium sized hand, in the way that my keybinds and macros are set up the way they are. Shift B is so fast for my AoE hurricane, which is like the main way I do damage. And then Control B, this is really nice. Anytime I'm hovering over something, it's actually going to put a focus frame here, and I'll have specific like you see this is F dot R dot, so it's specifically like a rejuvenation for or rejuve for my focus frame. So if I don't have a focus frame, I won't be able to use the spell. So this is really nice, right? You can think it like it swaps my trinket for the type of healing that would work, and then it casts the spell I want it on the unit that I want it to be casted on, which in this case is the focus frame. So yeah, having focus frame is nice, not needed for all things, but it's great to have that option, right? And if there's nothing I want to focus, just hover over nothing and Control B, and now my focus is gone. But I put it right here, just like a free spot I have on stuff. My M is Mark of the Wild. Shift M is like self mark of the wild. Control M is raid mark of the wild. So if this dude Arsinia was in my raid and I hit Control M, it would do it on them and then the entire party group. So everyone would get mark of the wild. See, I'm just gonna hit M, does it on him, and then I do Shift M, does it on me. See, just like little stuff like that, which like you're scratching your head. Why does he have multiple abilities and slots for the same ability? Well, you know, one's for my mouse over unit or target, one's for myself, one's for the raid. So you can kind of piece together why certain things are set up the way they are. Going to Z, anytime I log in and I'm about to have like a serious sesh, I'll hit Z and Shift Z. Z, what that does is what that'll do is it's gonna set my camera into like 42x and 42y, and this is a way, so I just like to have consistency between the way my mouse moves and the camera moves, and stuff like that. You know, just like the way your dots per inch translates to the amount of screen that gets like torn through. All that stuff is like I can feel it when it's off, right? So I just wanted to be at a consistent number that felt good to me. So you can play around with this command, play around with the number, and just find something that works for you. But to me, this click and drag and camera type of combination really worked out. And then Shift Z is weather. So for some reason I couldn't like do some sort of automatic command where the game would launch and it would set my weather density to 0. I have to actually manually hit like Z and Shift Z, and what that'll do is it's gonna like the first one, right, is to get that camera set, and then the second one is it's gonna like get rid of the rain, it's gonna get rid of the shadows, all the stuff that has a lot of bloat and unnecessary work on your graphics card. It's just gonna, you know, kind of get phased out, and your game is not gonna need to load that anymore. So I'm just gonna hit Z and Shift Z, and that's what I do, and that's what it does. And then X is my mouse over bandage or target bandage. I think it's like over here, not exactly sure. And then Shift X is self bandage, so I have bandage and then self bandage. I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, here's the bandage. Self bandage is here. This is like a weird command for Turtle WoW. You couldn't do like bracket add target add player. It's like this was probably really interesting. This was a fun night for me when I was like, you have to target player, use your bandage, and then target your last player so it doesn't target you. That was funny. Anyways, just like special Turtle WoW syntax for the functionality. Always drives my gears. Super hilarious. Haha. Shift C. This is my mouse over rebirth, And because I'm a cheapskate, I always did rank 1 rebirth. Shift X. This was a fun one. If you notice, I like to have like shift like building on top of whatever the base key was. So in this case, the shift modifier is putting in nature swiftness on there. So then my next casted spell becomes an instant cast, and you can do the really bougie nature swiftness into rebirth. So your rebirth is an instant cast instead of a cast time. And that's just like a really fun way to pick some up mid combat when they go down. You need them up like split second right then, right there. So nature swiftness right here, NS rebirth, really great. It's not lit up right now because I'm not redstone. I don't have NS, but that's why it's there. That's why I use it. This other stuff is just like interchanging it out. So my shift T, my T is Wrath, right? But my shift T is Starfire. So that's the only difference here. But in any case, they're both Swiftmen for help harm friendly target anyways. But you can see how if I have like a damage ability, like, and I'm spamming T, then maybe the shift T is like the other type of damage that it does. So little things to remember there. All this stuff is labeled aptly and it makes sense. And it's like what these keys are. I just have an add-on, remember, to get rid of like all the type of font on it and stuff, so it looks a bit cleaner once it's on the action bars. But just remember that all this stuff is labeled. I would say 80% of my abilities and my arsenal has been made by me and AI and all the help from the internet to make sure this stuff works and to make sure that it works for my situation and things flow nicely. That being said, I think now would be a good time to go through, make sure I get the stuff that I missed, and then I'm going to hop over my spec to Resto, get into tree, and then cover the ones I haven't covered, and then maybe go over some final questions, anything I missed. But looking at the thing here, I see I missed shift spacebar. This is my mount macro. So it's actually going to put me in swift travel form that's spammable, or if I'm in AQ40, it's actually going to be put me in like my AQ40 specific blue courage battle tank mount, which is the specific mount that you actually need to be in. Otherwise you can't like can't go around AQ40. So there's that. And then I have control spacebar. For, if you didn't know, druids in WoW have an ability called Ride of the Wild, which lets you transport party members and they can hop on your back. Got that on control spacebar. H is my T13, my 13th slot trinket. My T14 is my shift H, my 14 slot / use 14. So, got my T13, T14 trinkets in button macro form. So, I can just use it, not have to worry about the name, swap it out, still have the same slot, yada yada. So, yeah, that's actually all my keys that I've went through looking at my action bars, the 3 center ones, the 2 right ones. It was a lot, and then I've just got this consume bar that kind of keeps tracks of my potions, sort of just auto does its own thing. I never really messed with it too much, or if at all. I've got this whole column bar for buttons. It was like a 3 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Dang, 30 buttons just for add-ons over here, just like configuring things. Typically I'd log in like at the early bulletin board, see if there's anything going on. Nothing going on here. People getting ready, just like leave TWOW and say goodbye to this game. But I'm gonna go and have Boomkin. Actually, I'm gonna just like start doing some damage on the training dummy, show you what it's like. I've got like F. So there's my Moonfire, Insect Swarm. I've got the dot right here so I can see like when it's going to dissipate. I've got procs indicators, so now I've got our like eclipse going, so start putting out some starfires. It's telling me my moonfire on this target is going to go down, and it's down, so I got to apply my moonfire again. My insect swarm's down again, so I got to apply my insect swarm. pretty chill rotation. Basically, just make sure in your Moonkin form, you make sure you got your appropriate gear on. You got your 2 dots on your enemies. You just spam the appropriate Wrath or Starfire. Make sure you're paying attention to like any types of procs and the type of attack you're doing. If you're doing arcane or nature damage. Anytime the enemy is like resistant to some type of damage. Otherwise, just a pretty chill rotation, honestly. You're just kind of wailing away, hoping for big crits and hit. As a boomkin, you're really going for spell hit and spell crit. Yeah, so, you know, boomkin, super chill, really liked it. And most of the time I was in like succubus form too, so you can be like succubus form and then you can go moonkin form. So I'm actually in succubus moonkin form, so you see now that I can like start doing damage. I'm actually still in moonkin form doing succubus form damage, so it's pretty fun. It's like you look nice and you feel nice and you do damage, big pumper damage. So overall, really love Boomkin, really love Moonkin, really love Turtle WoW, what they did with Boomkin, Moonkin, Turtle WoW. Only downside is I wish I got to play more and I wish I got to do more PvP. I wish I got the drops I needed from Nax. I wish I got to do K40. But, you know, it is what it is. I'm just glad that I got to have fun. I got to, you know, come up with this little UI and make sure that it was nice for me. All right. I'm going to go ahead and use the Goblin Brainwashing device. And we're going to swap to Resto. We're going to cover the Resto macros that I haven't covered. Maybe go over through any type of last minute things that I forgot or haven't talked about yet. And then we're going to end the video. I'm going to upload the video, get things going. Post it on YouTube. Don't want to make this too long. Basically, I've got my Moonkin set, or like my talents, but I'm going to hop in my Tree of Life form now too. So you can see now that my talents did change. Now I've got an 18-0-33 setup going on. I've got 18 talents in balance. And then the rest I've got down resto. So I've got Proves Mark of the Wild, Nature's Focus, Swift Mend, Genesis, Reflection, Gift of Nature, Nature's Swiftness, Preservation, Improved Regrowth, Improved Trank, and Tree of Life form. Really love Restoration Druid too. It was amazing. There's one annoying thing that I did encounter when playing Turtle WoW, is that there was no working macro that would, or no add-on that would actually like swap my my action bars and hotkeys once I swept specs. There was one, but it didn't like work with my my add-on that gave me more macro slots. So there was an add-on called Super Macro that gave you 30 more slots, and you could actually have more than 30. But basically, it wouldn't copy over these macros once you switched your spec. So if you, anytime I switch my specs like I have now, I'd have to manually, you know, get rid of my abilities. So over time, it got to be pretty quick. We know I'm not using Moonkin form, so I get rid of that. And then we know what else. Honestly, probably all I need to worry about right now, coincidentally. So then you just go grab your Tree of Life form, and you just sort of pop it. What the? It's not a dragon. Oh, there it is. Okay. It was weird. You saw that, right? That was like super janky. Ugh. Okay, anyways. Now when I spam Q, I am in tree form. And one of my glyphs, Glyph of the Autumn Treant, is now I've got the like an Autumn Treant. So yeah, and I've got Q on that, and now if I have my friendly, I select them and I hit F. You see it's doing rejuve on Arsena, and it shows the time of the hot until it hits 0, and I could even wait, and then I could hit like T. I do this and then hit T like I guess Swiftmend isn't up. Swiftmend, I should have Swiftmend. But basically, yeah. I guess if they took damage, I would be able to Swiftmend. But yeah, my Wrath is T and it's Swiftmend there. So I've got healing stuff. It'll give me the name. Like I could also regrowth them here, and then it's gonna show like the regrowth tick here. Or I could also do myself with Shift F and Shift G. Yeah. So I think it didn't work that time because I have it like set to something else. But let me show you what I mean with self rejuve and self regrowth. Alright, so now if I hit F, it's gonna do it on him. If I do Shift F, it's gonna do it on me. It should. I don't know. I'm hitting Shift F, just it's not working. It's only doing it on him. Oh no, it is working. It is working on me. And then I hit F and it's doing it on him. And then I'm gonna Shift G. It's gonna do it on me. It's just the timer's off. The add-on doesn't work. Okay, so the functionality works. Just the add-on isn't tracking accordingly. Like you can clearly see that the hot was for me, the heal was for me, but then it showed his name. So it's an add-on thing, basically. Yeah. Control T is like the only difference. This is our nature, swiftness, healing touch. So if I ever need a big heal, I just hit Control T. Let's put like a heal on him, and then I do nature Control T, nature swiftness, and then healing touch. Boom, that's 3k. And then if he still has this rejuve on him, and then I just hit T, and that's Swiftmend. So Swiftmend on T, and then nature swiftness, healing touch on T. You can see how like my instant targets, big chunker heals are all in the same ability. So if I need to use all of them in tandem, I just like spam that button along with its modifiers, and then you kind of exhaust all through the situation of what it needs to do. So yeah, that was amazing. I love that. That was great. That was Resto Druid, essentially, and I went through all the macros I have and why I would use them. I don't play feral, so I don't really do cat or bear stuff all that often. I had thought of it, I just didn't really. So anytime I talked about like you curious on other things that I have and I didn't really talk about, it's that. So this is like an overall drink macro to stop doing things, and it'll drink either mage water or other water. And this is like my bear macro. Bark skin, if I'm gonna bark skin in feral or just in caster form. This is like weird how there's like feral form for fairy fire and then bark skin feral mode. Anyways, this is a way to do like two things. This is a way to mouse over, say hi to a friendly player. Healthstone, mouse over bash, mouse over growl. Rebirth, Innervate, Meld, Self Thorns, Weather, a bunch of healing potions, healing mana potions, was Demoralizing Roar or Cower. So cats also, feral cat form also has a way to reduce threat, and that's Cower. So it'd be Cowering cat form and it'd be Demoralizing Roar. In bear form, based on the stance and the macro accordingly. Ferocious Bite, Savage Bite, it's the combo point finisher depending on if you're in cat or bear. So it would change if you use this macro. I ended up not using a lot of feral stuff in general, so never really used it all that much. Bandage, Mark, Gift of the Wild, Gift Bean for more than one. Thorns, Soothe Animal, Cat Stuff, Pounce, Shred, or Rake or Prowl. Making the cat macros was interesting, just trying to understand what Turtle WoW accepts, and also the different of like abilities in cat form, and when I would want certain abilities to null into certain other abilities, and when I would not want it to do that. Like, I would not want a situation when I'm perpetually raking and applying a one combo point rake bleed when I could be doing other things. Um, so avoiding situations like that and then optimizing other situations is the idea behind these three types of macros and stuff. Self bandage, self healing, buffing, trinkets. Tiger's Fury, really complicated way to just spam the ability and give me Tiger's Fury energy. So that was a time. Different forms for going into things, different forms, cleaning, rinse. Remember, /rinse is the way we do cleaning in Turtle WoW, and specifically for the rinse add-on. By general mount macro that also accommodates AQ40 mount. And then I have my cat form or prowl. Yeah, so what is this? This is like cat, or if I spam it. Yeah, this is nice. I remember now, because this is like gonna be cat form and prowl. So why this was nice is because you could be in prowl, and I think no, you could spam it and it wouldn't take you out of prowl, but you could spam N, which is normal cat, and that'll take you out. So just like situations where you'd want to speed up, but you had previously gone like slower, that would be a time where you would unprowl to get the movement speed, which is another reason why I've layered it all under N for cat form. This is Cthulhu map, so I would drag this onto my bar if I wasn't like, I would put it on like find herbs or healing touch, and then when I would spam this macro, it'd execute this line that would bring up it's like a square map of the Cthulhu like type of room, so you could see where people are and where to stand and where to stop standing and where to like hit the boss and stuff like that. And if you've done Cthulhu, you know what I'm talking about on AQ40. But yeah, and then this is the dash cat macro. I think this is really nice because if I'm not in cat form, it will put me in cat form and then dash. So just like one less button to worry about. If I can spam a button and have it do the same thing, I try to like think about that and incorporate that functionality where the spam would shift me into the form and then do the thing in the form. So I'm like accomplishing two things at once. Illusion, you just kind of change the type of illusion or toy you want. You remember I had like all the succubus stuff and toys and zombies. You just change that line here, illusion : whatever. Here I have it on succubus. Could be other things, depending on what you have. I had a miscellaneous super macro text. So this is just kind of where I played around with macros and tried different things. If I didn't need any more, just blank it out. Nature's Grass and Hurricane. If I did run Nature's Grass, which was seldom and pretty much only for PvP, I would use this macro, and I think I am just using this macro in general because it substitutes as my Hurricane in general macro. So, do two things. It could Hurricane, or it can be your Nature's Grasp, which is like your melee entangling roots grabber. Nature's Swiftness Healing Touch for big heal, insta 3-minute big heal. Nature's Swiftness Regrowth. This is used in more niche scenarios where you still need a big heal, and the downside of you being shifted out of tree form is so significantly disadvantageous that you're willing to regrowth instead of healing touch. Because the only downside of actually doing an NS healing touch is that it's going to put you in human form, since healing touch isn't on the tree form registrar for healing spells that are allowed in tree form. So that's why it's always going to put you in the human form, and you just kind of have to take into account that in between global if you really need to do something but you're human now and you want to be in tree form for the increased healing, or vice versa. So that's the reason why I use both of them. And the way I have both of them. Like if I really needed to, I might put like G somewhere else, but for like 90% of your scenarios, NS Healing Touch, NS HT is more than you need. And then I have NS Rebirth too, right? I talked about different scenarios. It's lit up now that I have NS since I've swapped to my resto spec, that you're gonna want to insta heal someone, and I just do rank 1, whatever, why not? It's cheaper. I was spending all my gold throughout my time on Turtle Wall anyways with enchants and just like all that fun stuff of improving my gear, and then like re-improving your gear after you get an improvement to your gear, and it's like holy shit. Anyways, these are my focus macros for healing my certain focus, and then my mouse over focus to even focus them in the first place. This was that mouse over and tingling roots, or my trade macro, depending on if they're friendly or enemy unit. I have my healing touch or fairy fire here. What is this? This is mouse over, innervate, hibernate. And then I just have my 3 versions of the general spam damage in my form, or it would be Swiftmend if I'm on Resto. So claw, what is that, bear, swipe? I don't know, I think claw is actually in cat, and then swipe is in bear. One of the two. And then wrath is in human, boomkin, or starfire. So this was my self Swiftman. So this, you can imagine this was really nice if I had like a rejuve on me and I was targeting a friendly member. Like you can think, how would I get the friendly self Swiftman if I'm targeting my friendly? It would just go to them. So that's why I kind of needed my own type of button just for myself, and that's why I thought it was nice to combine it with a damage spell, because then it just nulls the situation where I wouldn't need the heal, because I'm already on enemy, so by default the Swiftman has to go from me. Like I can't be on an enemy and be targeting a friendly like at the same time, so that's why it made sense. Anyways, little thing there. And then target.ride of the wild. So I could put someone's name here, like target Taljit, and then this would target that player. And then the next line, script, if the number of people in my party equals 0, then it's going to invite that player. And then after that, it's going to unshift me, and then it's going to cast out of the wild. So, oh, I could drag this? I've been talking and drag it the whole time. Anyways, so this was a way to like have a 1-button spammable macro where I put someone's name that I've been playing with for a while, just like on these 2 lines, the second and third line, target them, and then in the quotes here. And then what this would do is if there's no one in my party, it would do all the stuff of target them, invite them to the party, get into your form, make them get on your form, and it'll just like do all of that with 1 button. So it was pretty nice. Unfortunately, I didn't get to use it that much, just due to the nature of how I played and just like not needing it as much. But then this was my help harm macro from Moonfire Rejuve, as well as just general start attack. And the Y and Z didn't really mean anything. It's just, if you notice the way the super macro is ordered from 1 to 30 is based on, I think it's chronological order and alphabet. So since I put it at the end, then it would show up in the end, and I was really picky about all these little icons, what they looked like, what they spelled, and where they were positioned. So my brain knew where to click and what to drag when I needed it, for when I needed it. So that's the story behind that. Getting back to general macros, my character specific macros, which in this case is my druid, or my super macro, which is my add-on that let me make more macros. Yeah, I would say macros and keybinds is the topic that I'm most passionate about, and what has helped me be so successful in my time playing Turtle WoW. So I am in Resta right now, hence why I'm not hitting this thing in Moonkin. But you can see I can very easily still just do my rotation on it, even though I'm not in Moonkin. Very interestingly now, I'm realizing that my Shift T isn't actually doing a single Starfire. It's actually only doing self Swift Mend. And it's not even Swift Mending because I haven't taken damage. I think I can only replenish damage once I've taken damage with Swift Mend. So pretty funny all around. Even this macro I've learned is not perfect. So if I were to do this again in the future, I'd probably find a way to Starfire or just Swiftman the player in a way that makes sense. I think it's just like, I honestly don't know. But in any case, I'm happy that I don't have to figure it out anymore, because this whole game, Turtle WoW and everything, is going down in 2 weeks. And I've spent probably way too much time than I should have playing Turtle WoW, thinking about Turtle WoW, and making plans for the future with Turtle WoW, putting off real life plans to play Turtle WoW, all the sleep I've lost thinking about all the UI edits, macros, and keybinds for Turtle WoW. I don't know. It's been fun. It's been great. But at the same time, I'm pretty much happy it's over. I'm glad WoW Blizzard is kind of taking action. I'm sad Turtle WoW's ending, obviously, and I wish they didn't have to shut down their servers. I wish Blizzard would have sort of adopted them in a way, and sort of instead of punishing them. But in any case, it's been a journey, right? Like this game has been with me. I'm 26 now, probably around 16 once I started. Like, we'll say a decade since I've been in Azeroth, playing different expansions, meeting different people, learning about the game, playing the game, getting better at the game, getting in the top 10% of Solo Shuffle and Dragonflight. Even though like I am terrible at the game, all these achievements have meant something to me. Even just like the PvE rating that I did in Classic, or the people I've met along the way and have spent times with in calls and throughout different adventures, just gotten to know them. It's been a lot, and it's been interesting for my character and the type of life I've experienced, and the lessons I've had throughout the way, and the fun that I've had, and just being able to enjoy and live my dream in this world. And I remember being a kid and wanting to play WoW so bad, just wanting to be in this world and understand these abilities, understanding what all the hype was about, fighting in the arena, fighting in battlegrounds, fighting epic monsters and raids, and making friends and doing dungeons and meeting each other, getting gifts for Christmas and stuff, doing mythics and exploring the world. It's been all great fun, and I'm really grateful for the memories and the fun along the way. But unfortunately, it's all coming to an end, and we're gonna have to say goodbye to Turtle WoW, and what everyone does after that, I'm not sure. I know for me, I might be putting video games in general just on the back burner. I have some other things in my life I want to focus on, just as a person, and some goals in general. And I've spent a lot of my life focusing on how to get better at video games, improving the way I play games, just taking it way more seriously than it needs to be taken. Like trying to find a game like a job, and trying to live my life playing games is just like, I don't know. I would love it to work. I would love to do that and have that type of life. But I just haven't gotten there yet for one reason or another. Maybe I should try harder in my YouTube and my Twitch and just try to figure out what people want for my channel. But until then, I'll have to figure out what's next for me and what's next for Royal Seed Pod, because Royal Seed Pod is the character I'm playing on now, and 2 weeks from now I won't be able to play here because Blizzard is suing Turtle WoW and they're taking down their servers. So no one's gonna be able to play Turtle WoW. There's probably gonna be Classic Plus on the official retail Blizzard servers or whatever, but I don't think it's gonna be anything as good as Turtle WoW has been and was going to be. I've always loved Darnassus. The music here is wonderful, and the people and the vibes. It's a very tranquil area. I know the video started off a little slower, but as I got into the groove, as I started to like understand and feel myself out a little more, started to talk a little faster and get into the groove of things. This was all done in one take. I didn't pause at all. I didn't do multiple takes or cut it here and there and stuff. So if things seem unorganic or just wasn't as clear, that's probably why. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave a comment down below. Let me know if you have any questions and I'll answer you back as soon as I can. Until then, thank you all for joining and watching my little conclusion here, talking about the end of Turtle WoW as we know it, my plans for the future. I'll probably be still playing RuneScape, maybe here and there off stream. I do have a membership for like, I don't know, like 200 more days, so I'll still log in a few minutes here and there, every few days, to old school RuneScape. But as far as WoW goes, even though I want to play Turtle WoW, retail WoW actually, like really bad. I do want to play retail WoW really bad. I miss pushing all these buttons. I miss seeing all these numbers, and it's just like, oh, this world is just so big for my psyche, and it's always just been a huge part of my life. Like, I just gave that guy thorns. I gave him Mark. I gave him the heals. He's on his way, man. He's on his way. Level 12, playing Turtle WoW for some reason. I have no idea. What is this? Is this like the area to go to that place? Turtle Fair Baker. Please bring me to the Farewell Fair and Moon Whisperer Coast. Huh. The fantastical Farewell Fair. Send my greetings to you, Druid. Have you heard of the Farewell Fair and Moon Whisperer Coast? It is a special occasion where all citizens of Azeroth gather around and reminisce about the wonderful memories they have made with their loved ones, friends, and even strangers. We celebrate this feast to grow gratitude towards our past and to look towards forward into the future with steadfast resolve. If you wish to join the festivities, speak to me again, and I'll transport you there with a little magic trick of mine. Of quest objectives, speak to Wiz Silver Pocket at the Farewell Fair north of Moon Hoof Village in Moon Whisper Coast. A Farewell Fair Baker in any capital city can bring you there with ease. Okay. Well, I just got that quest. Whoa, Moon Whisper Coast. Whoa, look at this place. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to switch my Goblin brainwashing device. I'm going to go back to Boomkin. Boomkin's just more fun. I don't know, they're both fun. I just, I think I wanted to switch here so I could... Can't remember what I want to do, but... Oh, I wanted to stream my talents. That was the part that I hadn't shown. So these are my Boomkin talents. Just hover over it so you guys see. But basically it's just like way down balance. And I just had the rest of my points in resto. The points in resto are just like reducing mana regen and whatnot. But yeah, this is pretty cool. I've never been here before, but this is like the celebratory place that Turtle has to celebrate the end of times. This is it. No more Turtle WoW, because Blizzard is being a big meanie. Music here is kind of eerie.
Hey, how
This
you
was
doing?
Silver Pocket. Hello, hello. Like I always say, fantastical farewell fare. The more the merrier. Check out the booths or dance floor and take a visit to the pier and plant some lanterns into the water. Huh. Enjoy yourself thoroughly. Here, have this coin for a starter. Gather more and you'll be able to purchase wonderful souvenirs from my brother Wes right next to me. Oh, okay.
Be
That's
good.
nice.
Yo,
Isn't that a fantastic festival, good traveler? Prophet aside, just take a look at all these people of all sorts of life having fun and enjoying the company of each other. Warm my little goblin heart. Warm was my little goblin heart. Are you interested in purchasing a souvenir of this monumental occasion? Speak to my brother Wes and he will show you his array of wonderful prizes. Sharing love. Oh. Mm.
have a good one.
I got an emote on other people. That's pretty cool. I think I might end the video here and explore the area around a little bit. Just hang out, enjoy talking with people, and talking about my time in Turtle WoW. I guess I could talk about my outfits. This is my Moonkin general set. Moonkin with my Barov peasant collar. There was one boss in AQ40 where everyone pops the Barov peasant collar at 35% HP of the boss, and it sends out like two spectral versions of little enemies towards the boss. And when everyone sends out those little enemies towards the boss, it kind of cheeses it, and it skips over a little mechanic. This is my Moonkin nature resistance set. So here I have like 120 nature resistance with my Slavan shoulders and other stuff. And this is nice because this is like a poison slime boss. And if I'm decursing and getting rid of poisons, it's just nice to have nature resist. Resto. And then my Bear of Present Collar and my Nature Resistance set for Resto. I was fortunate enough to have gear from all the different raids and gear I needed for the most part. Not the best gear, but it was always a work in progress. In any case, I'm going to be a succubus. I'm going to be a moonkin. And this might be the moment to log off. I've saved my file info stuff that I could. I've saved my macro logic. I'm doing my best to really make sure I remember such a good time playing Turtle WoW. And everyone that I met and all the memories that I've had along the way. I mainly just wanted to make this video as a way to sort of remember it all and remember the good times and celebrate a really awesome year that I spent in this world, hanging out with people and just fighting things and learning about the game and more about World of Warcraft. Part of me would love to come back to retail someday, but part of me also has other goals in life, and unfortunately I don't have the will or the spirit or the time to play all day like I want to and like I would love to. I've got some other stuff in my life I gotta work on and other things I want to work on and become a new person in different ways that I'm gonna have to say goodbye to the world that has been so good to me these last 10 years of World of Warcraft. It is a game, but it's also a community. And so if you can find a community, just have a good time, really. And the only thing I would say to anyone is just throughout this whole lesson of playing Turtle WoW and Nostalrius and what was the other stuff I played in the past? I don't know. All the other stuff. Ragnaros. Just don't get invested in a private server. You may think it's going to be the next big thing. You may think you're going to be okay. We never are. Blizzard always finds us and they gets rid of us, and they put their own version of the game that is inferior, and it's just it's unfortunate, right? It's unfortunate to the players because we want something better than Blizzard can provide, and it's unfortunate for Blizzard because they don't know how to make us happy, and it's unfortunate for the world because they know how awesome of a game this is, but Blizzard's not making it a good game. It's tricky. It's tricky. This game has brought me a lot of fun and joy throughout the years, but unfortunately, I think it's a time that I have to put it down, really, and really just thank you, Turtle WoW, thank you, Blood and Thunder Guild, thank you, YouTube, thank you, Twitch, thank you, everyone who watches my videos and supports me and is trying to help my dream of becoming a famous YouTuber and famous gamer, and maybe someday I can have my job being helping gamers and growing my YouTube instead of doing stuff in the real world that I'm not as passionate about. I love games. I love video games. Always have. I love watching people play games. I love talking about games. I love thinking about games. I love chasing the dream of wanting to become a big gamer. I'm having a lot of thoughts tonight, and I think a lot of people are. Just it's a big eye-awakening moment about what all this stuff means to us, and where we're gonna go from here. So, to wrap it up, it's almost been a 2-hour video. I'm at an hour and 51 minutes right now, and it's almost 10 o'clock over here. So let's bring it back to the WoW here. I'm gonna pull up my agenda again. We talked about the characters I have on Turtle WoW, the realm I play on, who I am, and why you should listen to me. The add-ons I use to play Turtle WoW, the UI I have, user interface, the keybinds I have, the macros, and just questions and overall rambling. Thank you so much for watching my video on Turtle WoW and its concluding ending. I think on May 15th at midnight, the servers are going to go offline forever. So that's the deadline Blizzard gave them. And after that, that's going to be it. No more of this world. I'll go ahead and go into free cam and just... This is it. This is the last moments of Turtle WoW. I thought we could have something great here. I think a lot of people thought we could have something great. This is the best version that WoW will ever be, at least for this this mode and this medium and Classic Plus. Yeah. Sad to see it end this way, but we will not be sad that it's ending. I suppose we will be happy that it happened. And until then, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care out there. Enjoy whatever version of WoW you're playing, whether retail or not, whatever expansion. Just keep having fun and remembering that people are online. People want to have a good time. And as long as you keep your head up and just keep playing, eventually you're going to find your niche, what you like to do. And yeah, I just hope when you do, you have a lot of fun. And you meet people, you try things, you have new experiences, and you live life the way you want to live it, and you make the memories that you want to have. So when you're older and you're decrepit and you're all, jaded, you have good times to think about, and you're a better person than you were before. So really dig in your heart and make these places special for you, because I know they're special for me. And they can be special for you, and you can make other people's day too if you just play, and you be a nice member of society. So I know there's a lot of stuff, and a lot of it was just kind of rambling, but I hope you learned something about the type of setup you can have, specifically for Balance and Resto Druid and casters in general, and the type of things you might want to think about as you progress through your Warcraft journey and trying to be more efficient in terms of getting any type of rewards or doing things quicker or understanding your class or how to play things better. Just if you haven't already, thank you so much for making it this far in the video. Please like and subscribe. Like my YouTube, follow my Twitch, subscribe to my YouTube. I've also got Instagram, Royal Seed Pod on Instagram. I've got Royal Seed Pod Twitter, Royal Seed Pod or X now, Royal Seed Pod Reddit. So Royal Seed Pod everything. My RuneScape name is Sir Apricity, so that's why my PayPal is Sir Apricity as the website. But pretty much everything else is Royal Seed Pod, Discord Royal Seed Pod. Huge fan of MMOs since I was a kid. Played a ton of MMO RPGs. Pretty much just fell in love with RuneScape, old school RuneScape, and World of Warcraft, and have been playing these two games since I was a child. And may never stop. We'll see. But I know I will be stopping here. But it was a beautiful journey in Turtle WoW, and I'm really glad it happened. But it's gonna be something I have to put away, and I'm just gonna have to cherish the memories, honestly. And I'm gonna start tearing if I don't shut up here. So I'm gonna go ahead and end the video, and just want to say thank you for all the fun times. And if you want to check out my other Turtle WoW content, I've got a video that's under 2,000 views about me doing Stormrout Castle on my channel, like around level 30 or something, healing that awesome dungeon. And then I've got a video with around 5,000 views, and it's me getting the Swift Travel form Ride of the Wild perk, so then friendly party members can ride on my back. Yeah, so that was a really fun video to make, and both of them were fun videos to make. And Turtle WoW has brought me a lot of joy. It's given me a fun pastime, something I'm proud of. The only thing I'm basically crying over is the work and the files and the UI I've built that is just gonna go and be trashed in 2 weeks. But I learned a lot from the setup I've made, and it was enjoyable. Was it perfect? No. But it was a learning process, and if I was to play with this setup for years to come, I would be happy with that. And I think that's when I know I did a decent job, at least. So we'll leave it at that. It's almost been a 2-hour video. Thank you all so much for watching. I've got some other stuff on my channel, and you can always check me out there. Make sure to follow me on Twitch and YouTube. And I actually have a second Twitch channel and second YouTube channel called Homework_OP. And that was my first one. This Sir Apricity and Royal Seed Pod one is my second one. So if you're like, whoa, I saw this guy's stuff on his other channel, well, yeah, that's because that's where it came from. And if you want to see the full VOD of me getting Rival 2 with Shadow Priest and Dragonflight Season 4, you can go to my Homework OP Twitch VOD and watch that whole like hour and a half of me queuing and getting Rival 2. I really miss Solo Shuffle and Arena once I had gear. I'm curious to try Midnight. I've been watching some videos. I've been interested in trying Midnight. I just got some other stuff going on in my life that I can't really commit that time. But other than that, yeah, I have a lot of appreciation for the game, the world, and the people that play it. It's been a fun 26 years. But I'm afraid when during my year of 27 and beyond, I might have to close the book and start at some other hobbies and other stuff, just because I've tried to go pro, I've tried to do other things, and it just didn't really help me or serve me, and I wasn't reaching my goals. And all of it's fun, don't get me wrong, but it's like at a certain point, I gotta
I gotta get more than just fun, you know? It's just part of growing up, I guess. Yeah. Alright. Alright. Let's see if anyone's online in my guild. No one's online. Royal Seed Pod, Moon Whisper Coast. Level 60. Oh, sheesh. Is there achievements anywhere? Are there achievements? I guess it doesn't really matter, right? Donation rewards. Oh yeah, but it's basically the donation shop of how they got money and stuff. I guess I want to flex on all the crap I bought before I leave. So, before I really leave here, I had the Banshee, Forest Dryad, Fulborg, Succubus, Shade, Naga Siren, Murloc, Harpy, Ghost Illusion, and the Zombie Illusion. I had the Snowman. I had the Glyph of the Withered Treant, Glyph of the White Stag, Glyph of the Orca, Glyph of the Moon, Glyph of the Autumn Treant, Glyph of the Forest Stag, Glyph of the Frostkin, Glyph of the Frost Saber, Glyph of the Golden Treant, Glyph of the Ice Bear. Dude, look at all those glyphs I got, you know? Bro, I've even got... Look at all these companions. I've got the Raxna's Hatchling, Auctioneer's Dresbit. I've got the Blitzen, Caravan Kodo, Caretaker Brambleclaw, Famous Fashionista Glitter Glam, the Mini Krampus, the Mechanical Auctioneer, the Hedwig, Greenwig Makov, 4-in-1 Mule, the Field of Pearbot, Olive Snapjaw, Pinchy, Razid Hatchling, Scarlet Snake, Skitterweb Hatchling, Snow Frog, Winter's Little Helper, Wally, Scar Bolt Fling, Snowy Owl, the Snowshoe Rabbit. Look at all these mounts I got too. Got the Blue Courage Battle Tank, the green one, the yellow one, Cave Riding Spider. Got the Reindeer, the Riding Turtle, the Snowball, Striped Snow Saber. Bro, look at all my Resto Tree skills. Trank. Removed Curse. Yo, having removed Curse and Abolish Poison in the same key was so fire. Slash Runts, bro. Oh, it was my Pharaoh stuff. All my cat and bear abilities that I rarely used. Dude, having T Track Humanoid was such a sneaky cat macro. I love that. Balance, and you got Entangling Roots, Fairy Fire, Hibernate, Insect Swarm, Moonfire, Soothe Animal, Thorn, Starfire, Wrath, General, Attack, Cooking, Herb, Tree, Glyph of the Penguin. While active, your aquatic form will take the appearance of a penguin. Oh, that's cool. So basically, I paid Turtle WoW a bunch of money in real life, and then they have to turn down their server, shut down their server because Blizzard told them so, and then I am out of luck because all the progress and time I've spent on this game is going away. All the money I've spent on this game is going away. So I'm screwed, but at least I made this YouTube video and I'm sort of like talking about it. Yeah, so this has been my life, and it's been fun, and now it's gonna be over. Thank you for watching. I don't really know what else I want to go through besides the fact that I had a lot of fun, and I'm pretty pissed at Blizzard. I wish they didn't take out Turtle WoW. It's disappointing. It is. What can I do though? I am just a pleb. Well, without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and log out. log out right here, because what's the point? I see quests, I see things to do, but you know, I got things to do. I've got a plane to catch tomorrow. I've got things to do. I can't be worrying about this. No sir, no sorry. Well, thank you so much again. Gonna have to end the video, and appreciate your time and your ear to listening to an old fart ramble about an amazing game and how it's ending and how I'm sad about it. But I am hopeful for new beginnings. That being said, I guess I'll just show you so everyone has proof of the servers I play on. This is Nordinar, Ambershire. This is also the other RP server, and then they have Telebeam. I had characters, I had plans to play in Ambershire, never did. Nordinar is where all my characters are, and it's where my level 60 druid is. So Telebeam, never played PvP on Turtle WoW. I would imagine it's as insufferable as it generally is in any server in Rome. Alright. My stream recording says it's been 2 hours and 6 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and call it here. I'll upload this to my channel, and hopefully it's well received, and it'll be a fun time capsule from the time I've spent playing Turtle WoW, the progress I made, the memories that I've had along the way, and the lessons I've learned from my experience. And if this can help out anyone in the world for future generations, whether you want to get into WoW, learn more about it, just understand on how to be a better player, I'm here as a resource to help you. I want you to have fun. I want you to experience the joy and you know, the type of opportunities this game has brought me and has helped give me this type of joy that I've felt throughout the years. Anyways, that's it from me for now. Just your friendly stranger Spider-Man from the internet, and my experience playing Balance and Resto Druid on Turtle WoW, mainly from a PvE rating standpoint. In any case, hope you enjoyed, and peace out, and stay frosty, my lovely dovies. Don't know what I'm saying, just don't know how to exit a video, apparently. Oh god. Okay, well, bye. No, I'm actually ending it for real. Toodaloo.